Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to Poetry Tuesday, my much abused regular feature here on this channel where we talk about modern poetry, contemporary poetry, the volumes that I get in the mail, and that once upon a time I shuddered to get in the mail. That is not true anymore. We go over poetry every Tuesday here, and it's always contemporary poetry, and I learn a lot. I learn a lot from your readings of the stuff that we read together. And today we're going to do one last poem from the same book that we've been delving into. The first, I think I can fairly say, the first unqualified success as a modern contemporary poet on Poetry Tuesday, and that is Eleanor Wilner. This is her new book, Before Our Eyes, which is new and selected poems from 1975 to 2017. Lovely thing, put out by Princeton University Press. I got this in the mail. I got the advanced copy, then I got the finished copy, and I picked it from a small pile of contemporary poems volumes that I have here, and I fell in love with the first poem that I read you, and then we read another poem, and you all loved it. We're gonna read one more today, and then out of fairness to other poets, we're gonna move on, and we'll come back to this book periodically for the rest of the year. But this is a volume worth you buying. There's no easy way to put that. This is a volume worth you buying. This is a contemporary poetry volume that is everything that I thought wasn't present in contemporary poetry all those years where I demeaned it. So we're gonna do one more poem from this book. Now this is new and selected, and the poems that I have picked previously have been poems from earlier collections, selected and included here. So today I want to pick a poem that looks to me like it's from the front of the book, which is new poems. Let's see here. Yeah, new poems, 2011 to 2017. This one is. It has a grounding in Greek mythology, which I like. It would have disposed me to like it anyway, but it would still have to be done well. I've read poems on this exact same mythological figure that I hated. so this is called Daedalus in Exile thinks of his son. It wasn't the sun, or that he flew too high. Lots of boys do that and live. It wasn't that he didn't hear me, his father, shout to warn him. It wasn't that he was boy and dream and muscle and sheathed sword. It was those whose son he was, not one of theirs. So, as he circled above them, wings spread in pure delight of feeling free, it enraged them. They ranted, they recoiled, they took aim. In the labyrinth I built for the creature, the prison that became my own, the central chamber is empty now. Its straw moldy, the creature has fled. I, who alone knew the plan of these bewildering corridors, returned. I let him out. His is the huge, horned shadow you see, moving always a little ahead of you, always a little ahead of whatever happens next. It's a shorter poem than any of the ones we've read so far from this poet, and lovely, as always. I don't think this poet can do any wrong. There are innovations here. Two on the myth of Daedalus. One is that he returns to the labyrinth that he created for the Minotaur. And the second is that Icarus did not fall out of the sky because he flew too close to the sun. He was shot out of the sky by jealous peers. And the two of those things are just encased in layers of regret. And I just love the image. I love the image of Daedalus just thinking back from the heart of his own labyrinth on all of these things, that he has done. I just loved it. Absolutely loved it. I will transcribe it in the comment section below so that you can read it yourself, instead of trying to hunt it down online or ever, and let me know what you think of it. But we'll move on. We'll keep doing Poetry Tuesday. We'll go to someone else next Tuesday out of fairness. But I think it's only right to say that this poet has been a success. And that if that is true, if you have enjoyed these things, then maybe, you ought to do what would be a rarity for me as well, which is to go into your new bookstore and buy a volume of poetry. I think you will return to this a few times if you do that. I know I will. So we're going to wrap this up, fairly quick video. I will leave the text down below. Let me know what you think of this. It's mythological. That should go down well on BookTube. And I will wrap this up for now, but we have plenty else to talk about. So I will be back. Thank you, BookTube.